all the freaking time for
Really?
bedtime, working out, you name it. Okay, enough messing around here. We're back. We're back again
We're
for
back.
another week of episode because I can't believe it. I'll tell you why here in a second. It's March 30th here in Iowa, almost April shower time, and we're gonna be getting some showers tonight. Looks like Nathan Creeps joined by co-host the Big Daddy Borchella. You guys getting some storms right now?
A little cloud rolled in, but nothing crazy yet. I heard we might get some hail.
I said
How about you?
some potential of like 2-inch diameter hail.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I guess we'll see. It's nice that this is like our first year and a half with the garage, so that's been a game changer for heavy weather.
That's right. You can pull in. I was just telling Bryce here before the episode that I am physically and mentally exhausted from Iowa's Cinderella March Madness run. If they would have advanced to the Final Four, I would not be here on this episode today. We would be doing
definitely not
a celebration of life.
No. The hype, and we said this, like the hype was almost too much for the state of Iowa. One, we didn't expect Iowa, maybe Iowa State. This was a complete surprise, and I think the entire fan base was like in your shoes a little bit. Like this would have been a lot to handle preparing for a Final Four matchup.
I was getting like 2 to 3 hours of sleep at most every single night since they beat Florida all the way up to the Illinois game. And like I said, it came out of nowhere. And when it comes out of nowhere, you don't expect it. I feel like it definitely increases the adrenaline around the run. Yeah. And I know everybody else is absolutely cooked from this. The celebrating, the stress leading up to the game. I couldn't eat either. It was just not a good recipe. Detrimental to my health. So as much as I want them
everything we said.
Yeah, as much as I want them to be in the Final Four, I'm okay with this loss right now. I really am.
Yeah, for sure. Shit. It was an incredible season. Could not have put expectations that high on a first-year coach, and he superseded them. He was everything and more that I think Iowa fans could have asked for, and it was so much fun. I loved it, and I can't wait to see what kind of program they build over in Iowa City. That was awesome.
Now it's honestly my favorite part of the year when we talked about this last year is when sports kind of comes to an end. I can start reconvening with the family, the wife, the friends. The weather's getting nicer. I can go outside and golf, and I'm able to take a step back from sports, which I so desperately need. And that's exactly what I did this weekend, man. Sunday, 70 degrees, went over to our brand new golf course where remembers at South Hills in Waterloo and got our first 9 of the year in.
How'd you play?
Not too bad. Just some like little rusty stuff, little touch-ups, but nothing like no major issues or anything like that with the game. But the one issue where I'm going to have this year with the new golf course is that compared to Fox Ridge, I'm going to lose 1,000 balls this year.
Is it pretty wooded?
Not super woody, but way more than Fox Ridge is so completely open.
Yeah,
right?
It's really open.
The only chance you were going to lose the ball is if you went in some of the water holes, but that's about it. So I took that kind of for granted how I could have like 20 balls and make it through the entire year out there. Man, I already lost like 5 in the first round.
Yeah. No, that's a huge adjustment when you play a wide open course and then go to something with water, sand, and trees for sure. So Nate, we just finished up 99 holes in the Lake of the Ozarks this past weekend, Thursday through Sunday. Watched both the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 in enemy territory, Tiger territory, and I'm golfed out. It isn't even April yet, and I'm already ready to be done.
How many rounds have you gotten in this year?
I mean, after that, we played, what, 5 or 6 already this past weekend, probably 4 leading up to that, 4 or 5. So, yeah, it's like rare form already because of how nice it's been in Des Moines, and then now this trip. So we will head back in 6 weeks for the bachelor party. We're getting married May 29th of 2026, and 2 weeks before that, the boys are heading down to the Ozarks. So we scouted out the area, the terrain, and we'll pick a couple courses to play with all the boys down there. But for now, I need to think about anything but golf.
Yeah, good. I can use you as a caddy when we get down there. And that was like, so another issue with the new golf course is like at Fox Ridge, right? We remember theirs for 6 years and then played the 4 previous years before even becoming a member. And I could close my eyes and hit the golf ball and know exactly where my ball was going to land in every single hole. So it was hard for me to lose a ball because I would hit it at the same spot every freaking time. So that's a new thing here at South Hills, obviously. I'm like, Where's my little hill in hole 2 at Fox Ridge where I land by every single freaking time? So just little things. It's going to take some getting used to, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean that's part of the fun too, going to a new course and learning the ways. And you have 2 more besides the one that you played, right?
Yep.
Like that's your membership got access to 3.
There's Gates and Irv Warren. I don't think I've ever played Gates, but I've played Irv Warren, God, that was back in like freshman year of college, so it's been a while.
We'll have to ask the listeners and viewers if they like the golf content, because obviously you and I have gotten a lot more into it. That's how I'm spending a lot of my time that I would have maybe done pickup basketball or pickleball or whatever you do when you're 25 plus. We're spending a ton of time doing that now. I'd love to talk a little bit more, especially if we get into some of those golf videos this summer. We'll see. I mean, I don't know how much people really care, but it's definitely always top of mind for you and me, I feel like, these days.
Hey, it's everybody. The legendary Doug from Troy Mills. He's getting into golf this year. If he's getting into golf, everybody's getting into golf.
Right. It feels like an exploding category. So if we get this clip out there, let us know. We'd love to talk a little bit more. I don't know how much you watch like PGA and that stuff too, but I've gotten into a little bit more professional golf here and there. Definitely some Bryson DeChambeau videos on YouTube.
I'm more of a YouTube golf guy. I don't watch PGA other than like the Masters, which is coming up here.
I think that completely changed the game in COVID when everyone started putting full 18s on YouTube. That's definitely how I got a little bit more into it too. But yeah, I'm glad that you're kind of joining the party now. Like I said, I'm kind of golfed out, but give me a few days to recover, and I'll be pumped to talk about it with you.
So besides golf, how was the Ozarks?
It was good. The first day was like 95 degrees, so that was a big shock to the system. And then it dropped back down to pretty similar to what Des Moines was all weekend. Found a nice little Airbnb next to like JB Hooks. Ozarks is cool. It's really quiet this time of year. By the time we get down there, everything will be heating up. So no lake bars, not a ton of boaters out. Just anyone that was down was pretty much down there for golf.
Nice. So you had yet again, busy weekend. It's unbelievable. You're the busiest guy I've ever met.
Yep. Easter next weekend with the family, going down to Pella. And then I think we're pretty chill until the end of April, I think. Darian has her bachelorette party May 1st, but kind of just chilling now.
Good.
Hopefully.
We just need to kidnap you until your bachelor party and your wedding. Make sure you're rested up and good to go.
I think that's a good idea. Nate, I love what you said there about everyone kind of cooling off. This is a great time for you to like get your mental right and, get your focus on the family, your wife, everything. What's really nice too is the Twitterverse gets a lot more neutral. I feel like everyone's at each other's throat. Iowa State versus Iowa for 6 to 8 months throughout the year. And then that just kind of, all the burners kind of go to rest for a little while, a little dormant. Everything's a little bit nicer.
I see. I probably won't even tweet until August.
I did see your sign off. It was a little Cyclone Larry-ish where you just said like, see you in August. And I wondered if that was kind of the case.
Yep. That's usually the case.
Okay.
Unless if like LeBron wins like the NBA finals, which is not looking too promising this year. But other than that, I'd kind of go ghost mode, which is nice. That place stresses me the hell out, and I'm on there 24/7 in March.
It's toxic. It's toxic.
It's really toxic.
There was Twin Towers of the Children's Hospital from Illinois fans. There was Iowa fans doing Holocaust.
Just some absolute
unbelievable stuff.
Relentless stuff. Some of the Florida Gator Nation talking about.
Oh, Gator Nation was
Oh
pissed.
my God. Yeah, they can bite a fat one. Screw them. If it wasn't for MediaCom and I didn't have such great connection, I wouldn't be on Twitter so much. But unfortunately, I have some awesome connection, which allowed me to post nonstop Hawkeye content here.
You were a madman, and thank you to MediaCom, our sponsor of today's show. In Iowa, if your internet bill jump scares you, that's BS or total bill shock. You need to lock in. Get MediaCom fiber-powered 1 gig internet for $50 a month for 3 full years. Call 844-4FASTER for details on how to lock in your 1 gig for 3 years. Then we'll roll the clip, and you guys should jump on the party.
Lock in speed, lock in price, lock in gig. MediaCom fiber-powered 1 gig internet. Now just $50 a month. Locked in for 3 years. No hesitation, no bill shock. Shop online today.
They just came out the other day and got my wired connection underground. Waiting for the
Nice.
Yep, it's finally that's a good sign that spring is right around the corner here. MediaCom's able to come out and dig up a little bit. Can barely even tell they're out here. I went out and I was looking for the
that's
wire. I'm
nice.
like, what the hell? Where's the wire at? I'm like, oh shit, they dug it in the ground. So I'm tapped into the earth.
So that's like a pretty efficient process when they come
Yeah,
in.
oh yeah. They told me it's gonna be pretty easy. Like we got a company that just
Nice.
knocks this out no problem. So she's done. I'm ready to mow, baby. I'm gonna fertilize the lawn
Yeah.
tomorrow. Before the rain hits, let that nutrients get into the ground, and I'll be full lawn dad here in a couple weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, that's nice that they didn't tear up your lawn, and it's definitely getting closer. It was really surprising actually coming up here and seeing how much green there is, and the trees are budding, so you'll be mowing in no time.
Can't wait. Honestly, I cannot wait. All right, Bryce, our Iowa fact of the week here. We're looking at the average population per town here in the state of Iowa. I'm guessing you've seen the notes. If you had to take a guess, what is it?
The average population before I looked at the notes? Obviously, you have like 5 or 6 towns that like really skew things up, and then you have a handful, 10 to 20 of like the 5 to 10,000. I probably would have said like 6,000.
Really? See, I would have gone like 1,000.
Really?
Yeah,
That's true. I guess you kind of have to know how many you're dividing by.
I think that there's right like the unincorporated towns. Some have like 3-4 people. You know that really messes things up. But then you got the big metro. But for the answer for the people listening here, it is 3,185 people is the average size for a town in Iowa, because you got 3.24 million people divided by 1,017 towns, and the closest town to that population is Milford, Iowa, with 3,219 people. Your second closest, Bryce, is Hudson, Iowa. 3,101 people, making those two the most average towns in the state, and I live in one of them.
Yeah, your backyard. That's cool. That would be a fun trivia. Maybe we'll throw that up this week on one of the stories. How, even just guessing how many towns there are in Iowa without looking it up.
That is good. That is backs up what I've tried to promote here the last couple months on the podcast. Like, I love average towns in Iowa. Not too special, not too much going on, just enough to fill my needs. And here I am. I'm living in one. I didn't even know it.
Yeah. I mean, average towns are like, that is the backbone of the state. And we had the Iowa Gallivant, who was a little worried about the death of the small town. But it's guys like me and you.
Oh, that guy was so concerned.
I'm leaving Waukee. I'm going to go join the forces of some small town. I don't know where it's going to be yet, but don't you worry. I'll be there someday. He did. He got me worried too.
All right. Well, Bryce, we're looking at weather records right now, March 30th here in Iowa. And I swear to God, every time we do weather records, we are breaking records. This might be our 4th record-breaking podcast for the weather, which is actually incredible here. You guys are, I think you guys got in Des Moines, Iowa, was a high of 86 degrees today. The highest previous temperature was 83 degrees, set back at 1968. So we actually broke another record today. Lowest temperature, 6 degrees Fahrenheit, set back at 1964. Most precipitation, 1.88 inches. 1998, most snow, 2.3 inches, set back in 1985, and your average high at 56.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
1 year ago today, I got a memory on Snapchat that it was snowing. And here we are, 88 degrees, and it felt great. I do love how the warm weather comes right after the weekend when everyone has to go back to the office or hit the road, hit the semi-truck in your case, and everyone's locked indoors looking at a computer screen or whatever the hell they have to do, and they get all pissed off. A lot of people think it's conspiracies. They think the government's controlling us.
I think so. I said I was mentally and physically exhausted from Iowa, but I'm also mentally and physically exhausted from this fucking weather in March. This shit's got me on the tornado roller coaster in Adventureland. This is insane.
Yeah, we've had close to 10 inches of snow in some places. We've had 90-degree weather in Des Moines. I don't know.
This easily has to be the most bizarre March, actually not just March, but month of weather I've ever experienced in Iowa. It's doing me in. It's absolutely doing me in. I can't take it anymore. All right, well, look at this. Well, because on March 30th here, history in Iowa, March 30th, there wasn't much going on. So went to March 31st is a historic date in Iowa weather history, marking the largest and most intense March tornado outbreak in the state history. Over 25 tornadoes struck eastern Iowa, including an EF3 and EF4 tornadoes that caused severe damage in communities like Keota, Wellman, and a massive one in Keokuk, an EF4 tornado in Keokuk, which with winds up to 170 miles an hour, stretching for nearly 20 miles.
because you can equally have snow or a massive tornado at this time of year in Iowa. Yeah, I guess a little later down the road we get into Iowa news, and there's some crazy fires and stuff, but no tornadoes yet. And we actually set, I think, a least amount of tornadoes record last year. I might be a little bit off on that, but it was definitely lower.
I think it was, and the year prior to that was the most we've ever had. Hell, we led the country.
Yeah.
We led the country.
Yeah, I think we led the country.
I didn't get to see a freaking single one. But let's bring it up, though, because you just talked about it. What the hell was going on in Highway 20 in western Iowa?
So we obviously spent a lot of time on the course driving back from the Ozarks. I saw this stuff come through on the Iowa Chill Snap, but I didn't have a lot of time to dissect it. This is really the first deep dive that I've been able to get into with this fire in Woodbine.
Yeah, and massive fire.
Or Woodbury.
Massive fire Woodbury and hit in Iowa. Absolutely engulfed Highway 20 in flames. Look at that picture. It looks like you were in This Is the End movie with the apocalypse coming terrifying here. Multiple structures and vehicles were lost, and a portion of Highway 20 was actually closed Saturday during this massive fire in northwest Iowa. The hit and fire EMS fire crews were dispatched for mutual aid around 3:45 p.m. after Sergeant Bluff Fire Rescue requested aid for a large grass fire outside of Bronson, rapidly spreading to areas near Lawton and Mobile. Officials say that due to strong winds and extreme dry conditions, the fire quickly spread over several miles. The hit and fire department says multiple structures, including homes, machine sheds, farm equipment, and vehicles were destroyed in the flames.
Yeah, that's massive and super scary. It's super dry out there still, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had a little bit more of that going on. Nate, I don't know if you remember, but about a year ago this time, I called in a fire that started on Interstate 80 and crept into our backyard. So it is that kind of similar timing of dry land and little stuff. I forgot about that,
dude. Bryce is the fire chief, man. Dude, so I've been making some deliveries on a bunch of rural gravel roads this last couple of weeks, and it's I can't even breathe. The second I get on this gravel, the dust, oh my God, and then I get on my Moffat on the back, it's completely covered in dust. It reminds me of the scene from Interstellar, like when the dust bowls come and they gotta like flip the plates and shit. That's what I literally feel like I'm at when I'm driving around the gravel roads in Iowa right now, man. Sick of it.
Yeah, it's really dry, and as much as I don't really want rain and stuff this week because it's gloomy.
Oh, we need it.
We probably need it. Yeah,
we need it. We absolutely need it. Yeah, we're supposed to get through rain like 3 to 4 days. I even saw a chance of snow Thursday, but I'll take any precipitation right now. We gotta get this thing gelled out, man. This is detrimental to my health as well.
Yeah, we don't need the whole state burning down like Nebraska last week.
I hate
both physically and on the court.
I hate them so much. And so it looks like they got that taken care of, though. Look at that after picture.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Luckily, it's not like wide. Those fires usually go with where the wind's blowing. So that's good.
So there's not like an official cause for it. I think they're still in their investigation, but it's probably a controlled fire that ultimately got out of control. And I'm like, we've been under a fire burn warning for how many weeks, and people are still out there. Man, when it's windy, and it gets windy this time of the year, it'll come out of nowhere, and it's as dry as it is. Why are you burning? I know you want those weeds gone, but you about lit Highway 20. You did. You lit Highway 20 on fire.
You know how those farmers are. You know how guys are in general. They're like, oh, don't trust me. I've been around the block a little bit. I can handle this.
It reminds me of a time back when my neighbor was having a graduation party. And I don't think I did it, but I think someone else started a fire down by the creek by our yard, and obviously it just blew out of control. I burned the fire chief. Fire is not a toy. And it is.
Fire is not a toy is actually an incredible statement. That's hilarious.
The biggest news in Iowa, though, is right here in
breaking news.
Cedar Falls. Couldn't believe I'd ever see this day, but Ben Jacobson announces that he has accepted the new head coaching position over the Utah State Aggie men's basketball team.
The new Pac-12, I believe, is forming, and Ben Jacobson will be at the helm. Kind of a cool story. Ben Jacobson's biggest moment was probably that run with Ali Farouk-Manesh, and he will be coaching against Ali, who hit the famous shot against Kansas that we mentioned a couple weeks ago as one of the most iconic moments in tournament history for Iowans.
So I didn't know. maybe I did notice at one point, but I totally forgot at least that they were joining the Pac-12, and they're going to be joining the Pac-12 here in July 1st of 2026. So the Pac-12 is coming back, baby, and that's too bad because I actually love the Mountain West Conference, but all sorts of weird shit's going to be going on over there. Ben Jacobson ends his career at Northern Iowa, 397 and 258, coached from 2006 to 2026, bringing his 20-year lead at the helm to an end and 5 total NCAA tournament teams.
Incredible career at UNI, and it's super sad to see him go, but he accomplished so much, and I have to be grateful because I grew up a UNI fan because of him, and wanted to go to the university, honestly, because of the basketball program in a lot of ways. And he's inheriting a great program at Utah State. I'm actually really excited about that. The Aggies just made the tournament. I think it's a great situation for him to kind of level up.
And nowadays, there's not a lot of times where a switch like this or a change in the program will ultimately benefit two programs. I think we're seeing that here. I really do. I'll start with Coach Jacobson here first. You're going to Utah State. You're getting a fresh start at an awesome university that really embraces their college athletics there. Awesome student section, one of the best student sections in the entire country. I used to watch. I've been watching YouTube videos of Utah State's student section
chants
forever.
The chants are crazy.
And I believe that we will win chant started from Utah State. So he's going to get a lit environment, a fan base that will buy into every single basketball game there. You get, for some reason, Utah. It's all the colleges in Utah, right? BYU, Utah State, great fan support, and just a rich history of basketball there at the Aggies. So great pick for Coach Jacobson. He's going to have a lot of success. There's not a doubt in my mind. Now flip the page over here to UNI, right? You lose the all-time winningest head coach in your program's history. You act like this is it. But for how I've been looking at the program for the last decade, it's been kind of stagnant. Not terrible, but just stagnant. It felt like with a long-term head coach like this, I think his potential was reached. He's accomplished so much. It just felt like we weren't going to go any farther than where we've been here recently. So with Jacobson leaving, this opens up new taste, new coach energy to the program. And that's our next biggest question is, well, who's going to take over the helm?
That's a great question. I'm not sure who is the right guy for that situation, but I do agree with you in a lot of ways. It was getting stale. I'm so glad that he got to finish on a high note, make the tournament, great MVC tournament run, win that whole thing, and then go play one more time in March. But yeah, I agree. It's some of these things, it is like a controlled burn. You almost have to burn it down to bring it back up, and let's hope we find somebody good because it's fun when the Panthers are also playing well.
Yeah, definitely. I remember the days back in our freshman year, 2014-15, that student section was full every single game. I go to 2 to 3 games a year now, and they'll be lucky if there's 20 to 30 students in that student section. The whole program, it needs change. It needs new energy. And I think both the athletic program and Coach Jacobson probably recognize that and shook our hands. Hey, we accomplished a lot here. It's time, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm hearing a little birdie around the room that it could be Mr. Tuttle, Seth Tuttle from West Fork, Iowa.
Wouldn't that be great?
I think so. Personally, if I was making the decision and I know zero inside knowledge about how much these guys actually know about basketball, I would hire Coach Green, AJ Green's father, from TJ Otzberger's staff over at Iowa State, just because I like the way Otzberger's program is run with defense efficiency. But Tuttle brings in, All-American vibes or All-American success as a player at Northern Iowa. Grew up Iowa, obviously, and has been on the staff, I think, for maybe 5-6 years. So it seems like he's leading Canada right now for this position.
I would love that. I think you get a little bit more recruiting edge when you have former players that had success at the program. But that's a great kind of out of left field choice for me. I never would have thought about AJ Green's dad. I like that choice too. And I trust the AD. I feel like they're making the right moves. I'd love to see Mr. Nathan Creeps as an AD someday. That would be awesome.
You think so? I think I'd make a good hire.
I think you would too. Let's make that your career path.
If I just made a bad decision, someone ultimately called me out for it, I would say some comments that would ultimately get me fired for sure. But if I was able to collect my thoughts and not blast out at the media, I think I'd be a pretty darn good AD.
So it'd be one of those things where it's like a short-lived career,
Yep.
and it's probably one of those things where you end up getting thanked later, like after your tenure. Okay, yeah, I could see it.
So what
Hey, good for Coach Jake. Good for you and I.
Yeah, if it's total, it's coming. Whoever takes over this, they got to do what McCollum's doing over there at Iowa, right? Engage himself to the fans, engage yourself with the media, be kind. You start being a dick like Fran McCaffery, nobody wants to support you, and you just new energies is going to be the ultimate starting factor here for this. So, as we wish and congratulate Coach Jacobson, an awesome career at UNI, a legend here in the state of Iowa. But I'm excited to see whoever takes over this program. It's time for a new era for UNI basketball. Well, shit. I think we've talked about everything.
We kind of have. There's one more thing I threw on here, Nate. I want to know what you think as a titan of the road, if you will, driving every single day. There's some lawmakers out there considering raising the default highway speed limit from 55 to 60. What are your initial thoughts on this kind of proposal?
It really depends on the roads. There's some highways where I feel like as a truck driver, you have more space in between. You just got that yellow line. I feel like some white roads are a little bit wider, and I feel comfortable going 60 miles per hour both ways. You start decreasing the narrowness of the highway. It can get sketchy because a lot of these drivers are distracted. They are. I see it every day. I see I probably 1 in every 4 cars, someone's on their phone. People are distracted driving. And if you're increasing your speed, that's less time to react. But it's road dependent, and definitely on like Northeast Iowa, when they start getting so hilly and windy, that probably needs to say 55. But some of the straighter areas with wider roads, definitely we can bump that up to 60.
Okay. I trust our lawmakers to make the right choice here, but I could tell I'm getting older because my initial reaction was, oh, sweet, I can go faster. I can get to my destinations faster. I can maybe speed a little bit faster. And then I went to like my 30-year-old brain, and I'm like, well, how many more crashes are going to happen? And it looks like they pulled some numbers from a study that increase would likely result in like 9% more fatal crashes. So that's the downside. The upside is you get to go fast in your Lamborghini.
This is kind of like a law that's not actually in the books, but everyone seems to go a typical 5 miles over the speed limit.
5, it feels like you're kind of safe.
So if you're saying 60 miles per hour, you're going to get people going 65 miles an hour. That starts getting a little sketchy when you're
county roads,
a foot, 2 feet away from someone coming at you in opposite direction, and we're talking 130 miles in total force meeting each other at contact. I think it needs to say 55. I really do, actually, the more I think about it.
I know the older you get, you're like, let's keep that speed limit low. The biggest really news, I mean, we got through the Iowa news. There's more stuff. We found a killer of a 15-year-old cold case, but that's already old news these days. Everything goes and comes so quickly with the internet. The real news is still just debriefing what happened with Iowa State and Iowa in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Eh?
Let's talk Iowa first here. We're not going to go deep into the games. We're going to kind of quickly reflect on the season itself here. Ultimately, what did come down to the Illinois game is that something we knew exactly how this game was going to go. Too much size and too many shooters for Illinois. And Florida had size, but not everybody was shooters, so you were able to cluster the lane a little bit, allowing you to be more physical. But with Illinois, their 7-footers can all shoot threes, spreading you out. So when the shot's up, you don't have as many guys in the box to get those rebounds. And that's just the advantage that Illinois had all season long. And they're playing some of their best basketball at this moment. And Iowa put up a hell of a fight, up 4 at halftime. Ultimately, it just became too much down the stretch. And once you got down 5 in this game with 5-6 minutes to go, there was very little hope of getting back in this game.
Definitely. Yeah, you saw it kind of all year when teams were able to have depth, bigger. It wears on you. They are getting easy buckets. They're getting second chance baskets. You're not getting as many second chances and forcing tougher shots. And it did wear on us, I feel like, towards the end of the game because we started out great, and I really thought we might have a Final Four team. And maybe it's for the best. I don't know if the Iowa fan base was ready to be a Final Four team. I know McCollum is. That guy's a freaking winner, and I had a blast seeing him string together his first year at Iowa.
What a year, man. I knew the second you just get us into the NCAA tournament, we are going to compete. That's how McCollum's built. It could be a long regular season when your depth and your talent is nothing but Division II mid-major players, it was time for us to get into the NCAA tournament, regather the team, regather the intensity, and give everything we have here the next couple of weeks. And my God, did they do it. Running through Clemson, beating number one Florida, defending national champions, beating your rivals, the 4-seed Nebraska Cornhuskers in the Sweet 16, advanced to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1987. An absolute masterclass from Coach McCollum and everybody on that team. That's tip of the hat, and that brought so much life to the fan base that has desperately needed this so freaking bad, right? In year one, maybe in year 3, 4, I was expecting this, but we got this in year 1, baby. And
yeah,
I've never been so excited, but I'm still collecting my thoughts. I'm still trying to regain sleep that I've missed out here the last week, but that was as fun of as a ride I've ever had watching sports in my entire life.
Oh, definitely. I think there's nothing that really compares to the tournament still. And even in the NIL age, I think that the tournament is still such a great sporting event. You get to cheer on your team multiple times. It's not like football. I guess now with the playoff, it's a little bit different, but man, what an exciting run for a fan base that got dogged on for 25, 26 years from their counterparts in Ames that said, hey, it's been 26 years. It's been however long since an Elite Eight, and that monkey is finally off your back. And to do it in the fashion that you beat a rival. I really was confident last week when we said, oh, fuck, we got to play Nebraska. But we knew Nebraska. We knew that matchup well, and it proved to be, I don't know if we wanted it more or executed better, but it was awesome. I loved beating those guys.
Def Texas, Nebraska shooting themselves in the foot to lose any game they possibly can against Iowa. And my 3 biggest takeaways towards the end of the season here is throughout this March Madness run is, 1, I'm exhausted. 2, the national brand exposure that Coach McCollum, Iowa basketball got from this magical run. And that's the best thing about the March Madness, right? How much exposure these Cinderella teams get. We are now an enticing place to want to go watch basketball and go play basketball for, right? McCollum's a winner. He's been on the Pat McAfee show. How many shows? Coach K was talking and praising this guy. How could you not consider Iowa now if you're a great recruit or if you're looking to be a developed player, right? Look at Benacerci to Drake to lottery pick. This was the best thing that could have happened for Iowa. So we're back in the spotlight, baby. We didn't lose, and then we didn't lose to Nebraska. If we would have beat Clemson and you would have told me, hey, we're going to beat Florida, but then we're going to lose to Nebraska, or option B, we're going to beat Clemson, you're going to lose a close one to Florida, your NCAA tournament is done, I might have taken option B.
Really?
Oh, my God. Nebraska's got to think about it. Well, I hate Nebraska way more than I hate Iowa State. I hate Nebraska fans so much. We've completely dominated them in football for the last 12 years, mostly dominated them in basketball. We beat them in the Sweet 16, the best team in school history, and they still talk shit. Just idiots over there.
Yeah, they're an insufferable fan base that really needs a spark as well, and I don't know when they're going to get it because Iowa's just kind of put the clamps on the last few years in both sports now. I do think that Hoiberg's going to keep recruiting and putting together a great program, so that should continue to be a great rivalry. But, I mean, I couldn't agree more with you, Nate. I think that was like the biggest takeaway I had too. Mostly the interview where he said, if you care about me more than the team, then this probably isn't the place for you. That to me sends a message that you want guys to stick around. You want guys that play team ball, play defense, and are willing to play in the system. And typically with those teams, you don't have lottery picks like Sturts. It probably won't always look like the Sturts kind of teams, but you will have a lot of cohesion. You'll have teams that play together, and I think that is awesome for recruiting.
Just looks like an awesome culture and environment that he has established here, and he's an absolute psycho. He will go at all costs to make sure he wins that basketball game. And for the record, I love Coach Hoiberg. I actually really respect Fred Hoiberg, love his son, but it is nice to beat down Price Sanford, the former Iowa Hawkeye, who
Yep, his one shining moment got doused pretty quickly. Man, could we have used him this year too? Such a bummer.
Yeah, we're talking Final Four difference there. We really are. Obviously, a very talented player.
Probably.
We'll be seeing him next year, unless if he has NBA aspirations. But I think one more year would do him even better in the college world. Before we switch over to Iowa State here, we got more drama with the McCafferys, baby. Def Taxes, Connor McCaffery's still attacking Iowa men's basketball program. And I said in the last podcast, I wish I could be a fly on the wall where the McCafferys were when Iowa advanced to the Sweet 16, and I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when they advanced to the Elite Eight. After year one of getting rid of the 17-year reign from Fran McCaffery, and he's like a Nebraska Cornhusker, just still talking shit.
Yeah, the ego on the McCaffreys has really gotten tiresome, and it's really unfortunate that it's put a little bit of a bad taste in some people's mouths on Caitlin Clark, because it seems like Connor's put the clamps on her lip because she has not said a word about the run that they made to the Elite Eight.
She needs to shoot an SOS up into the air, because this is as controlled as I've ever seen something. She won't even tweet or acknowledge any of the Iowa men's basketball success, but she'll acknowledge UConn men's basketball. And like Kate Martin, Gabby Marshall, all of them are supporting Iowa men's basketball. And you're telling me Caitlin Clark just happens not to care about Iowa men's basketball? Bullshit.
She's never been this locked down in her entire life. She's always been able to get a free open shot, and now McCaffrey's got her locked down. So we'll see how that plays out. It could be a big riff in their relationship. We're now a drama podcast.
Did you see that video with Dave Portnoy?
Yeah.
So for the people listening here, the Barstool Rico guy, which we could talk about a couple weeks ago, who was a big Fran homer, loves Fran. So he's saying the grass wasn't greener when we got rid of him. Now we're in the Elite freaking 8 year one. He was out to dinner or something with Dave Portnoy, and Connor McCaffery called Rico, and Rico's like, well, McCaffrey's like, let me talk to Portnoy, and basically to tell Portnoy he's disappointed in Portnoy for supporting Coach McCollum and his Elite 8 run success.
Bro, that is as childish as it gets. First of all, your dad has had an entirely different tournament run, so go focus you and your family on Butler and Penn, because it's over. This fan base has moved on to McCollum. And now you're crying to the internet daddy, Dave Portnoy, that you want him to shut up. And bro, first of all, Barstool's had some weird looks lately. Barstool Riggs saying that nobody should talk about Tiger's incident and then this McCaffrey situation. It's just unbelievable what's happening with some of these people. But you hate to see a guy like McCaffrey. I liked Connor when he played for Iowa, but
I did too.
It's getting tiresome.
Actually did. But I just hate that he's taking Caitlin Clark down with him. Like, it's making me. I still love Caitlin, but it's making me care a little bit less about her. I'm like, this is such salty little bull crap. I mean, we clearly made the right decision. So what more do you have to bitch about? All right.
Yeah, go focus on your life. Do your own thing.
I would say here, Bryce, they fall yet again in the round of Sweet 16. And what's your thoughts on their overall season? Right? They have that monkey in their back. They can't get to the Elite Eight with all the talent.
Yeah. I did ask around to a lot of Iowa State fans. I have my own thoughts, but I had to ask, if Josh Jefferson plays, does it change the outcome? And I'm curious to see what you think on this. I don't know if it does. I think that Tennessee was just a bad matchup. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about whether they win or not with Jefferson. It obviously doesn't help. Maybe he helps bang around down low and be more physical on defense a little bit here and there, but it's just tough. They just can't quite string that win together. What are your thoughts?
Listen, I love seeing Iowa State lose. I love it. But it doesn't feel right when your All-American, their All-American goes down and they can't get that monkey off their back. I mean, they've had this bad juju with George Niang, a couple other injuries, Gilbert last year. Just these star-studded, loaded teams, and you run into something before you even have a chance. And I can't remember if it was Heisey or someone, they're interviewing him after the Tennessee game saying, like, man, it sucks when your tournament's over in the first 5 minutes of the tournament, dating back to Jefferson's sprained ankle. And you forget how much of a mental toll that's got to take on you, right? In the first 5 minutes of this tournament, some of these players honestly believe that their tournament was done with. So that's obviously had a huge psychological effect when you go up against a Goliath-sized team like Tennessee, where you're completely mismatched and you need that physical body like Jefferson banging around there. So absolutely, his lack of presence made a difference in that game. But you're right. Tennessee was as big of a mismatch as I've ever seen. They're number one offensive rebounding team in the country. If you have Jefferson, you definitely have a chance of winning this game. I think it's 50-50 with Jefferson in there. But after that, you're screwed. You are not beating Michigan.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still a 16-point deficit, and you're probably neck and neck with this team. I don't know. There's been a lot of things over the years. Obviously, we said that you need that clutch player to make shots, but really, like, I was very sincere when I said I felt like Iowa had a better matchup with Nebraska than Iowa State did with Tennessee.
Oh, don't
doubt.
know.
I truly was worried about their size, and it came to be. And it's just hard to replace second chance looks versus throwing up threes.
We talk about all year regular season champs.
Free throws too, man.
Oh my God!
I didn't even mention that, but their free throw shooting really is an Achilles heel.
How abysmal! I mean, we said all year long this was going to cook them in the NCAA tournament, and it definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they were hitting their free throws, Tennessee was. I've never seen a team so dominant on the glass. I mean, this willed their way to victory in any way they possibly could.
I'll tell you what, I had a lot of fun for 4 years watching Taman Lipsey. And it's sad to see him go. I think he's an incredible point guard.
Favorite Iowa State Cyclone. It's not even close. Love that guy.
Love that he's born and raised in Ames area. And I'll miss watching him. It's a great battle when he's on the floor. He's just a competitor. The steals, the assists, he's a great floor general. So sad to see him go.
You wonder a guy with his talent, but his lack of size. If he tries to go play pro anywhere. He seems like a G League All-Star, maybe a European, but like a guy of his knowledge is going to coaching. I don't know. You do hate to see that for someone who's so talented, but just because there's nothing you can do about it when you get to the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to either be a freak athlete or be able to shoot the rock unconscious, and I don't know if he's quite that player.
Yeah, but I'm honestly I'm happy, man. This season couldn't have gone any better for Iowa, and we beat all of our rivals. We advanced farther with them with a way less talented roster, and we didn't lose on like a gut-wrenching, heartbreaking buzzer beater like freaking Duke did the other day. And I can go in peace. I can sleep in peace with this loss to Illinois. And it's time for me to move away from sports and just take a break from it. I'm so pumped.
Yeah. I mean, last thing I'll say on the sports topic is, as much as I am an Iowa fan over Iowa State, I had a hell of a time watching both teams in the Sweet 16. The state of Iowa was buzzing. It's great content, great banter, and I hope that happens as many times as possible with Otts and McCollum.
The top redneck towns in Iowa. And boy, we got a lot of them.
Yeah. It was cherry picking. It was so easy to pick out a few of these. And I threw in some random ones that I'll pull out if you steal one that I want, but this is a fun one. So
the reminder of the draft rules: if Bryce takes it, it's gone. It's off the board. I can no longer say it. So use one, you lose it. Bryce, I believe I started last week. You have the honors.
I'm going to go with the meth capital of the world, Old Wine.
See, that's the problem. Like, we could draft our top 5 meth towns.
We could probably draft like 30 of these towns each and not have a single crossover.
If we do, we should do a top 5 meth town drafting. But if you get meths, you're getting rednecks too. They seem to coexist in the same towns in Iowa. I see. I've seen enough of it. Yeah, good pick. My number one, my first pick is a town I actually just heard of, Conesville, Iowa, way southeast Iowa, Bryce. And this actually might be the most redneck town in Iowa. Listen to this. It is frequently identified as a top redneck town in Iowa due to its reputation for hosting the Conesville Redneck Revival, featuring mud, bog races, big trucks, and high concentrations of bars per capita.
Nice.
The Redneck Revival.
That's pretty strong case to be made for redneck. Yeah. If they have a redneck fest, that's a good pick.
So I feel really good about that one. So I'm going to snake back with Jefferson, Iowa.
Yeah, very redneck for sure.
Great people from Jefferson and the surrounding communities of Carroll that come to Jefferson support. We used to throw the Great River Farm Party out there in Jefferson, Iowa, and Craig was as redneck as I got. Great guy. I loved him. Just want to go mudding, drive his side-by-sides through rivers, host redneck slip and slide parties, and everyone out there was the same breed and just a bunch of the funnest people you can party with. Rednecks are innovative.
I think we need to clarify again, and we did this I guess we ranked them last summer and had to clarify that redneck is definitely not a bad thing or a derogatory term. I honestly think of like country living, make your own fun. Yes, there's the cliches of cowboy boots and Ford pickups and all that, but it's really like, it's kind of a compliment in this state in a lot of ways.
You hang out with me, we're going to have the most white man, average, boring night of your life. You go hang out with the redneck from Iowa, you're gonna walk away with memories. You're like, holy shit, these guys are nuts. I love it. So I enjoyed it every time we hung out with them. We walked away with a story every single time.
I love that pick. I'm gonna go with Grundy center, Nate. We don't have a ton of. I guess we do have an experience there with a tenderloin back in the day, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the landmark.
Okay, so we do have a little bit of history there together. I went to the Grundy County Fair in 2021, and that was like the most redneck scene I've ever been a part of. Monster trucks crushing semi trucks. Like it just was like one big like pig wrestling match after the next, and it was awesome. So I have to put Grundy Center on there.
Yeah, so that's funny because when I was trying to rank my towns, I was trying to think of like county fairs I've been to and the surrounding towns that feed into it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Grundy was actually like a blast too. Like again, it's just you find like hilarious individuals that want to have a good time. So I'm also going to go to a group that I feel like makes their own fun in the best way in Southern Iowa, Albia. I know you're not super familiar with Southern Iowa, but Albia used to have a great football program. Now you're just kind of in the boonies in the middle of nowhere. You could have some fun in Albia.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any southwest, south central, southeastern towns. When you start touching Missouri, things get a little more redneck. There's no doubt about it. Give me okay. So I did some research here and I gathered some outside information from my most trusted redneck person I know, my coworker Tommy. He tells me that Alburnett, just north of Cedar Rapids, is the most redneck town he knows. And if Tommy is telling me that town is 1,000% redneck.
What did Tommy say was redneckish about them?
Didn't tell me much about it, but it doesn't matter. The second he said Alburnett, I'm like, that's Tommy. I've seen your lifestyle. You live in Coggin, Walker, Iowa. Oh, those redneck towns up there. My Moffat broke down on Walker, Iowa, 2 weeks ago. And the first person I always call is Tommy because he's redneck. He'll somehow redneck it to start. So he comes out. He couldn't get to go. But he lives in the area. He's like, hold on. Let me call two of my friends. 2 minutes later, these guys come in a huge jacked pickup truck. All sorts of gadgets on this thing. You would have thought it was Inspector Gadget driving this thing. And they're both diesel mechanics that were basically rednecks living in the town. And they worked on it forever. And they're like, yep, you need a new fuel pump. And sniffing the gasoline. They didn't give two shits about it. So
wow.
So if those guys are telling me that Alburnett is the most redneck town out there, then it's 1,000% a top redneck town in Iowa.
It like makes me smile too because I can't tell if I want to like say redneck or like blue collar, but I appreciate both of them because I feel like if it's up to you and I, we are never going to get anything fixed or built.
Nope. I could change the tire.
And these guys can fix stuff.
That's as far as we're going. But yeah, nope.
Yeah.
They're my first line. I'm either, if I'm broke down, I'm calling a farmer or a redneck. We're gonna get things taken care of, and I'm gonna be all right. Okay, so
you grabbed Alburnett.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
You got one more.
Fuck. Okay, give me Clarinda, Iowa.
Yeah. Good choice.
Never been there. It's Southwest Iowa, but from my podcast listening of two guys from Iowa everywhere, Chris Williams is from Clarinda, Iowa, and he loves NASCAR. He loves NASCAR. He talks about all the freaking time. You don't develop a love for NASCAR unless you're born into a little bit of a redneck lifestyle. And
100%.
He resides from Corinna. So Corinna, you got to have some redneck activities down there.
Yeah, and great point, too. You know that Iowa's a little bit of a redneck state when NASCAR comes and has an annual race here. So that was a huge win for the redneck community that is inevitably NASCAR fans. Nate, I'm going to circle back with Clarksville. Homeland of Matty Poppy, who tried to go superstar mode.
God, you're really attacking this area around Cedar Falls.
Yeah, I am, because I want to save one more pick for South Central, which is what I know.
Okay.
I have Drakesville and Sheraton and Ocean and Hampton and Vinton and Mount Pleasant. But I had to put Clarksville on there because I've met a ton of rednecks there. The South Central I knew was Pella. That was a little bit more white collar put together. Guys couldn't fix shit there. So I'm going to go Clarksville, and then I circle back with. I'll go Mount Pleasant. A little bit bigger town, but it is definitely like drive your tractor to school day a couple times a year.
I looked at Mount Pleasant so many times. I'm like, I just haven't been in it. I've driven through, obviously, because 380 goes right through, or Avenue of the Saints, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great pick. Yeah, you get in all those towns in there. That's redneck country. All right, I'm going to wrap up this list, Bryce, with Creston, Iowa. And I've never been so confident in judging a town that I've never been to. And this town's redneck. And we did some content like a year ago about some redneck towns, and we mentioned Creston, and everyone said, I even admitted on that video saying, like, I've never been there, but I just know this town's redneck. And people are like, he's not wrong. We live here. He's not wrong.
They were pissed off, but they were
shit. He's
like,
right.
He's right.
So
I do remember that clip. That was funny. So you got Conesville, Jefferson, Alburnett, Clarinda, and Creston. I think you won that draft, Nate.
I feel
have
really
Mount
good
Pleasant,
about my draft. I do.
Mount Pleasant, Albia, Clarksville, Grundy Center, Olwine. So I definitely hit that northeast corridor pretty hard. Had to bring it down for Albia and Mount Pleasant. I think Sheraton and Drakesville definitely should have been included on mine.
Sheraton was consideration.
That was a fun draft.
Could you rate Green, Iowa redneck, or is that like more hick?
I just don't know what the distinction is at this point. Blue collar, hick, redneck. I feel like a lot of people that don't know there is a difference between people that farm and people that are rednecks. Sometimes when I think about a redneck, I think about the people that are maybe not necessarily doing farm chores and combining.
They just got like 4 trucks.
They're souping up their trucks.
That's Tommy. Tommy's more worried about
stuff.
How many trucks he has in his driveway.
Yeah. More of a yee country than it is like an actual farmer. Yeah. So there is a distinction, but it's definitely hard to put your finger.
Both very innovative. 2 of the most innovative breeds we have in the state.
And we love them. Like, truly, I do. I love all the people in the state.
There's never a dull day with them. You're going to learn some shit.
No,
you're going to learn it.
People laugh at us, but I love you.
You're going to learn it in a weird way, but you're going to see some shit and learn some shit, and you're like, well, that's something. So, Great list, Bryce. Great episode today. It's time, people. Just go connect with your families, your spouses, your loved ones. Reach out to your grandma. Tell her you love her. The Hawks, Cyclones. The season's done. It's time to move on. It's get fresh air and see the grass grow green and enjoy life again.
All right. Have a good week, people. We'll see you later.